So Bitcoin right now is currently in this horizontal triangle, as you guys can see, with a breakout imminent. I would probably say in the coming 3 to 4 hours. And in this video are we going to see another downward trend? Because we know every time we essentially have this horizontal bear flag, we essentially continue to the downside. So we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin right here on the 1 hour, on the daily. We're going to be having a look at Ethereum. We're going to be having a look at my Bitcoin challenge or crypto trading challenge, 10,000 to 1 million. Is it possible? I'm going to give you guys an update on that in just a second. But before, guys, let's have a look at interest rates. The interest rate are still high, sitting at 4.5 to 4.6%. You guys can see in about 2 hours from now, or an hour and 50 minutes from now, we will have a federal interest rate decision right here, which should be 4.5. Okay, the forecast is supposed to be 4.5. I don't know if they're going to be lower than that. If they are lower than that, and I'm talking about 25 to 50 basis points, I don't expect any pump from that. If we see anything higher than that, obviously, that they do cut, you could expect crypto to essentially explode despite the ongoing war conflict that's happening in the Middle East right now. So having a look at some tweets right here from Walter Bloomberg, you guys can see Trump wants to negotiate. That's what Trump said about Iran. Iran wants to negotiate, not Trump wants to negotiate. And then he said Trump says Iran should have negotiated. And Trump says, asked about the possible if they may strike Iran. And he responds, I may or I may not. Now, keep in mind that if he does strike Iran, that could essentially bring other countries into the conflict, which could potentially spark World War III. But of course, I think we're a little bit far from that, even though people say we're closer than we think. I don't think we are. If it does happen, then you could expect Bitcoin to essentially go down. Hence why I took my shorts yesterday. We're going to be talking about that in just a second. And then he said, Trump, Iran has reached out. And then Trump said, I said it's very late. So the clock is ticking for Iran. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I don't want to be too political. In my honest opinion, denuking Iran is probably going to be the best thing for crypto. So if you are a crypto investor and you guys like crypto and you guys like money and you guys want crypto to go up, I think that denuking Iran for the future is the best thing to do. Anyways, enough with that. Let's have a look at my Bitcoin challenge or my crypto challenge. You guys can see I am down on this trade 1,285. If we have a look right here at some position history, you guys can see that yesterday, if you were with me and you guys remember the trades, we closed 8K, 2K, and 3.9. Okay, obviously on these trades, you guys remember I shorted Solana, XRP, Ethereum. This was obviously a quick scalp. You guys know, buy the rumor, sell the news, sell the rumor, buy the news, whatever it is. And we took advantage of that. So we're not going to be in these positions for too long. Now, you guys can see in this position, I am up. Okay, I did long Bitcoin, and the reason why, it's a very technical strategy. It's not really on news or whatever is happening despite all the bearish news. If we have a look right here on the Bitcoin daily time frame, you guys can see that we did have a rebound on the 50 moving average right here, but it looks like Bitcoin right now is looking very, very weak. Now, we were up at one point on this trade. I was up 3K. I was sleeping, unfortunately, but we're gonna have to see if we could have the same type of reaction that we saw right here on Bitcoin. If we do, we're gonna be printing, because this is a nice little position, guys. 20x, 10 Bitcoins right here. I mean, the total margin, the total value of this position is worth over $500,000. So obviously this is a pretty good damn trade right here. By the way, if you guys do want to sign up with BYDFI and get access to all my trades for free, sign up with BYDFI. The link will be in the description below. Deposit $100, get it into Discord, and I will essentially add you to the private group chat for BYDFI trades, of course, once you send me my UID. Of course, if you deposit $5,000, which you will get a $1,000 bonus. Anyways, having a look right here back at this thing right here. Another thing is that we are making lower highs, which is pretty bearish as well. So this was the start of the lower high right here, and this is clearly a reversal. So as long as we get supported by this moving average right here on the 50 EMA, we are still bullish. If we close, guys, if we close below, okay, now the daily candle does close right here in 7 hours and 43 minutes. If we do close below this moving average, you guys can expect a short to this next level at $92,000. I will be opening a short, guys, which will be a 10% dump. Okay, so make sure you guys follow, subscribe to this channel, like this video if you guys want to be kept updated. Anyways, having a look at this bear flag, guys. We know this bear flag, usually when we consolidate it after dumping, the continuation is usually to the downside. Now, of course, can you take this trade if we close below this? Yes. That could be another short-term trade, and we could essentially take this short all the way to this level right here, because of course, guys, on the daily time frame, remember, we are still pretty early, and in my opinion, for confirmation or full confirmation for a short or a longer short, you want to look at the daily time frame. So if we do break below, in next 42 minutes and we do close, that would be a nice little 1% pump, obviously, or dump. Is that the biggest gain? No, but if you're using 20x, that's 20%, you know, of your essentially value, which is pretty good. So you guys can see right here, 3,400, not looking good. I may reverse this position. I will be monitoring right here. Obviously, guys, we're not gonna have all wins. We're gonna have some losses as well. You guys can see this is my 7-day PNL. I mean, it's looking pretty good with a 75% win rate. So we know out of every 4 trades or 5 trades that I will take, or 4 trades, sorry, I will essentially lose 1. Anyways, having a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is the king of altcoins at the end of the day. We're going to be talking about the altcoin season in just a second, how on the altcoin season chart, it's making all-time lows once again. It looks like the Bitcoin dominance is coming back to life, and a lot of money is just flowing back into Bitcoin. People aren't want to essentially put their money into altcoins right now at this very moment. Having a look right here at the at Ethereum, you guys can see that Ethereum is below the volume profile right here, as you guys can see, which is pretty bearish. But we know every time we do have these moves below or above the volume profile, we usually have big moves to the upside. Why could I be bullish on Ethereum on the shorter time frame? Well, if we have a look right here at the stochastic RSI, we know that stochastic RSI right here is looking, I don't want to say bullish, but it's not looking bearish as well. We know historically, every time we are on the oversold region, investors are essentially going to be looking to essentially buy. And in my opinion, this should flip very soon, and we should have a reversal in the coming future. Now, of course, depending on what happens with Iran, with interest rate and everything, that's really going to dictate. If we have negative news in the Middle East and we have negative news on interest rate, you could expect this to essentially go down. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Ethereum comes below this major support level right here that has been consolidating for about over a month now. So we're gonna have to pay attention very closely to that. And pretty much that's about it. Now, the Bitcoin dominance, guys, you guys can see the Bitcoin dominance is high, making all-time highs on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily, it looks like we have a nice little clean breakout. You guys know me, I don't see an altcoin season starting until we essentially have 72% on the Bitcoin dominance. The second we have 72% on the Bitcoin dominance, that's when I'm going to see the altcoin season starting. But as of right now, you guys shouldn't even be putting your money into altcoins, okay? Can you accumulate altcoins slowly? Yes, if you have maybe 100K, 10K, whatever you want to do. But should you be putting everything into altcoins? No, definitely not. I think once it reaches 70%, that would be a beautiful sweet spot to essentially not only open longs on altcoins, but buy altcoins, in my opinion. Having a look right here at the altcoin season chart, guys, we are still very far away from an altcoin season, sitting at 18. Obviously, things can change very fast. You guys saw what happened right here, you know, back in December. And if we have a look right here at the altcoin year, I mean, this thing is like sitting like lower than ever. It's clearly Bitcoin year. Altcoins are getting wrecked. They're getting destroyed. The last time we saw a Bitcoin or altcoin season was actually in 2021, 2022. And guess what, guys? We are halfway through 2025. So we're gonna have to see what happens here very soon. I mean, things are about to pop. We're gonna have to see what happens with interest rates. We're gonna have to see what happens with the Middle East. If you guys do like this video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow.